down this time. Is it working? I guess I'm gonna have to reload Twitch again. Okay, it is working. Perfect. So, the plan for today is rather simple. I suspect I may or may not well, I suspect I have the fastest well, no. I know I have the fastest GTX 1070 on HW Ball. Now it's a case of I need to go take down all the other scores that aren't Firestrike Extreme. So I already did Firestrike Extreme with Ryzen, because Firestrike Extreme is more GPU limited on a 1070 than CPU limited. So now we're going to be moving on to things like Firestrike and Time Spy with the help of a 6950X at 4.4 gigahertz. Assuming it boots. It booted earlier today. But yeah. So let's go take a look at the system, and then we'll get right into the benching. There we go. So that right there is, of course, the GTX 1070. It is plasti dipped. The LN2 pot is a Der Bauer Raptor 4, and I am running the extension, which you can't really see, but you shouldn't have, like, this gap here. I can sort of stick my finger in there. That shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be that big. So that really ruins temperatures, but unfortunately I can't do anything about that because there's a V-core capacitor bank right in that area, and the LN2 pot won't clear it, so that's why I'm running it like this. End result is, I think with full pot it'll hit like minus 115 degrees, which is about 40 degrees too hot for the card to properly max out, assuming it has no cold bug. So yeah. Then the RAM, that may be a DDR3 heat spreader, but this is all DDR4. It's all Crucial sticks, and I only have this heatsink on this stick because I think this heatsink this is my all-time favorite RAM heatsink, I think. I like it. I really, really like how this one looks. So yeah, I just figured, yeah, I stuck it on the stick and I couldn't be bothered taking it off. So that's that. The motherboard is a MSI X99A X-Power Titanium Edition. Oh right, they also slapped gaming in there somewhere in the name. Really, absolutely desperate, you know. It's like, slap gaming on it, makes it better. Anyway, this motherboard, it's X99. It's not bad, but like, after using Ryzen or like the Maximus 9 Extreme, there's a lot left to be desired. Like, there's a lot of stuff I still wish this motherboard had. The main thing is, Ryzen's memory, like basically the boot loop detection, where it'll throw you into the BIOS if it doesn't boot up fast enough. So, yeah, there we go. So I really miss that, because basically, since this RAM's kind of finicky to set up properly. It'll run decent settings, and right now it's set up for 2800 CL12. The problem is, setting it up to actually boot up or anything is a massive pain, and this motherboard, without having all of the sort of, like, there's no safe boot. The retry button over there somewhere doesn't really work. There is, like, there is two buttons over on the end of the board, which sorta, it looks like the manual more or less means that they are safe boot, but they don't really seem to work. As in, I can't get into the BIOS without wiping it. So, yeah, that makes messing around with RAM on this motherboard a pain, which is unfortunate because for 3D Mark physics test, you actually, like, they're pretty memory intensive, and I'm stuck at 2800 CL12 because these sticks have done as low as 28 CL10, I think even CL9. 2800, and they've run that on other motherboards, but it's just a massive pain to tune them into that. And then they've also done 3000 CL12 on this board. I have a profile saved on this board for 3000 CL12, can't boot it. Tried, just gave up at one point. So, yeah, that's kind of it, but hopefully, you know, the RAM won't hugely impact the scores. The PSU powering the entire operation is a 1600 watt EVGA G2 power supply. The main reason I have that is for basically for the Fury X's I have, so it's really, really overkill for this. The 6950X is set up to 4.4 gigahertz. It can sort of maybe do 4.5 if you mess around with it, but it's not gonna work for Like for Firestrike regular, it might be helpful to do that trick where I can... Basically, the trick is that you can... What I do like about this board is you have ratio buttons right here, so I can adjust base clock and core clock on the fly really, really easily. And so I remember in one benching session what I did was I would... was running the system, and basically because you have the physics test in Firestrike, and that one's really, really heavy. So I'd run 4.4 for physics, because that's like fully stable, and then once I hit the combined test, I would bump it up to 4.5, because it would just about make it through that, to get a little bit of extra score on the combined test, but I can't be bothered doing that today. And also, it won't work for TimeSpy, because TimeSpy doesn't have a combined test, it's just graphics and then CPU, so yeah. And TimeSpy is really the benchmark I'm most worried about today, so let's go for it. I think the GPU, okay, so voltages, I think this is right now set up to boot the GPU at like 1 volt. And we can actually, because the 1070's idle so low power, it doesn't matter that I'm not going to pour right now. So let's fire it up. Pray for the best, because I'm not sure it'll actually boot. Booted earlier today. That's my only concern. Okay, looks like it's working. Actually, while I'm pressing... Yeah, hopefully it won't throw me into the BIOS at this point. This board does take forever to post. I have no idea why. It just does. You know, if it had that safe boot button, I would say this was like one of the best... Well, actually, no. This is definitely a really, really nice... Like, by MSI motherboard standards, this thing is really, 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 really nice. I miss my safe boot button way too much, though. Because recovering, like... It's like, this board outclocks the Rampage 5 Extreme that I had. On memory, on CPU, they're equal, because Fiverr makes basically VRM design kind of irrelevant. But, yeah. So, it's a nice board. The problem is, if I screw up the settings on this, with this RAM, other RAM, it recovers fine. This RAM specifically, it'll get stuck on like a 61 postcode or something, and you're not going anywhere with that. So, yeah, I think let's just go with a baseline to make sure that TimeSpy still works, because I had to reinstall that benchmark like 3 times on this OS, and I'm not sure if it still functions. Let's see. Where is Afterburner? There. It's at 27. I'm not going to pull down the GPU right off the bat. I want to run it at like sort of ambient temperature just to check everything still works. Load up this profile. So this profile I loaded up is just a flat, just under 2, sort of mid-1900s curve. Card doesn't have a power limit. Card doesn't have a manual voltage control. So yeah, and also, why am I not reading? There. Okay, now it's reading 1.1. I really should have hooked up a better ground lines, like, because if I read off the case, right, that reads 1.07. If I read closer to the GPU, which makes sense, it's 1.02. If I read off of one of the screws right here, which are basically right on the same ground plane, actually that's also reading 1.02. So that's actually not that bad. The reading's reasonably accurate from over there. But yeah. See, we're at 23. I'm kind of overboard. Let's just apply that, and 700 memory should work. Let's go for it. See what this spits out. And I think I'm going to throw you onto the monitor capture. There we go. Blow this up a bit. There. I don't know why the system is so slow. It just is. Okay, it looks like it used to basically do like it would try to load the benchmark and it wouldn't actually make that, so looks like it's working. So since I already know this card doesn't have a cold bug, I'll basically, after this finishes, I'll just pull it straight, well, I'll pull it gently down I don't really trust, like, CPU thermal paste, I've never had a problem so far. GPU on, like, the RX 480s, I think the reason why I was so unsuccessful, other than the fact that I shoved way too much voltage through the memory controller of the GTR card, the first RX 480 I had, I'm 99% sure the mount failed, and I never noticed. Because this pulls less power than an RX 480, and load temperature on the LN2 pot on this thing is way lower, no, way worse than load temperature on the RX 480 reference, based on my memory, so, yeah. Progress has been made at the cost of many dead. GPU only hit sort of 30 degrees according to the thermometer, but I'm not going to unnecessarily let it go really high. LOD, I will run LOD for... Well, actually, I think I'm going to run no LOD, and I'm going to run a LODed run for Firestrike, because... What the hell? Why'd it crash? Okay, wait, that's interesting. I think that might have been memory. Just because the, like, I know the RAM based on the last session seems to prefer being cold, and I'm not sure how that's working out, right? Yeah, that's not working out. Cold is not exactly what the RAM is getting right now, but yeah. We'll see. I just want to pass. If this doesn't pass, you know, ambient, then I have a problem. Also, I might bump up the voltage a tad. There. 1.0. Okay, we'll have to see under load. That's the problem, is, like, I think the... Unless... Yeah, it's going up and down, so right now it's partial load on the card. Okay, we're at 1.045. I don't think I actually tested if this flat curve I have right now actually works. I think I just tested it at stock clocks, which I know worked. So it might be just that these settings were too aggressive. And there's like no airflow over the RAM and over the VRAM of the card, and if anything, I have like towel sitting right on top of it, so it's more like actively thermally insulated. So yeah, the VRAM's probably not happy with what I'm doing right now, but if we pass that second test and I can see a physics score, then we're going for it. Because if the physics score is really bad, then, you know, there's no point in me pushing the GPU to the limit, because the physics score is part of the benchmark. Okay, looks like now it's running fine, so it must have been the VRAM. So far, anybody turning up has missed nothing. I'm just making sure the system actually functions at this point. So we're at ambient. GPU's at like 26 degrees. Voltage is at 1045 volts for the GPU. CPU's at 4.4. RAM at 2800 CL12. Okay, so that passed. You know, it might also be the extra V-core I gave it. That's why you don't Now, proper scientific method, don't adjust, well, actually, proper testing method, don't adjust two settings at the same time, because then you don't know which one fixed the problem you were having. But, I don't particularly care. Okay, so that finished. And now it'll tell me I'm scoring like 10k, in which case we're canceling right here because okay, we're scoring 11. That's not a good score, but it's fine. It'll work. I can work with this. Let's see, I'm just gonna check with the 3D Mark calculator if with around 11,100 I can make it. Yeah, I can still make it. As long as the GPU hits 7.7k, I can do, which it has done. The card is fully capable of 7.7k. Oh wait, no, I need like 7,750. Which I have done too, but it's gonna be close. It's gonna be really, really close for me to win. Like, I really need to max that card out, or I'm gonna need to, like, I don't know, maybe like a couple megahertz out to extra on the 6950X. The problem is this really, like, it's barely coolable. That's the main problem with this. It's like I have a monstrous water loop here, and the 6950X just puts down so much heat that I can't deal with it. So we'll just pull the card down at this point. I'd like to have it on some kind of load, just to make sure that everything looks normal. Start render task. Yeah, so 1950, temperatures holding good. I think my mount actually might be better this time around. There's less of a difference in temperature between my two different sensors. Though this is still reading lower than that. So, like, the software is reading lower than my thermometer, so I think the software, like, whatever thermal sensor is in the GPU is only calibrated to work properly between like 20 and 100. Because that says 17 and that says 14, and if that says 17, then that can't be 14, unless this was wrong. So, and I'm more inclined to believe that the diode on the GPU is wrong, like the sensor on the GPU just is screwing up, because on RX 480s, there's something similar. Like, I threw an RX 480 on water cooling, and it was reading like lower temperatures than ambient, which was just like, yep, that's totally acceptable, because we were around 20 degrees, so, you know, it was reading less than room temp. So basically, if you push the thermal sensor on a card too low, it stops reading properly. Yeah, this is reading 8, that's reading 2. Yeah, so the gap's actually getting bigger. This is reading about 6. 5, 4, 3. Get a bit colder, and then I can glaze it. And then it'll go really fast. Okay, so we do lose a tiny bit of core clock. We lose like 10 megahertz, which it's normal. Because we went from 1950-ish to 1936. We're at minus 6 on the thermometer. That's reading minus 17, so that's getting steadily more and more wrong. Minus 10, minus 20. Minus 15. I think at minus 20 I'll glaze, and yeah, so now we're at minus 20, so I'll let this boil off, then I'll glaze the pot. So basically I'll build up an ice layer inside it on purpose, and that helps overcome the lead and frost effect, because basically, for some reason, the sort of ice snow layer thing you end up with inside the LN2 pot wets well, it's porous, so it naturally wets liquid nitrogen. And that really helps with overcoming the lead-in frost, and the LN2 pot gets a lot better at lowering the temperature faster. Okay, time for the hairdryer. Yeah, that's starting to sound different. Like, you can actually hear the difference of LN2 on, like, bare metal versus LN2 on ice layer, so it's soaking properly now. Let's hit it one more time. Yeah, now it's boiling properly. I can't actually fill the pot up. Pretty much instantly boils all the LN2. And the temperature is dropping really, really fast, so this is not the... like, it's not a perfect blaze, but it's enough to get us down to temperature faster. That's one thermos. We're at minus 40 now. $44. And it's still using roughly the amount of LN2 I'm pouring in is still the same. It's not like it uses less liquid nitrogen, it just uses it faster, so I can change the temperature quicker. So we're at minus 54 now. Because it's really, really going. 60. I'm gonna start hearing cracking noises from this thing pretty soon. I'm gonna let it sit for a bit while I fill up the other thermos. And 66 right now on the thermometer. Go. Minus 75. I think it might glaze to the bottom if I leave it a little bit longer. Because I think right now only the upper part of the structure is properly iced over. Actually, no, it's not even think. It's like the LN2 in the bottom actually stays there. Because I just heard it finish boiling. So I'll hit it one more time. And let's go for it. We're at minus 70 now. So it went up a little bit. Yeah, this is... yeah, it's fast. It's really fast at this point. $73, $74. Doing almost a, yeah, I can't even pour properly because it just blows up. $76. $80. Wait, our core clock jumped back up to 1949. Is that actually in the graph? 1936. And now it's 49. Whoa, I think the temperature thing just completely broke at this point. Nice. I mean, hey, I got my 10 megahertz back. $88. 90. 2. Last time it stopped at like 115 fully loaded, so and it was idling like minus 140 by the time this was like fully boiling, so not far now. Minus 102. Six. There we go. It's, yeah, it's starting to not boil any longer inside the pot, so I think a few more pours and, oh man, that was a loud crack. Oh, the thermal paste gave up. I am so sure the thermal paste just gave up. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Minus 120. 54C on the card. Oh, yeah. Ah, it looks like it gave up. That legit looks like it gave up. Yeah, we're going ambient. Even GPU-Z is reading ambient. Damn it! You've got to be kidding me. Well, that's what I get for not redoing the thermal paste. I was hoping to get away with it. Oh well. Oh no, restart. So I need to pull it all the way back up, take it apart, redo the thermal paste. It's 2 liters of LN2 down the drain right there. Lovely. This is why you don't skimp on your thermal paste application. Which I did like a week ago, and ran on LN2 once. Which you shouldn't do. This is gonna take a while. Like, a while, because we're only at like minus 113 right now. Damn it! The hairdryer stopped. LN2 for the hairdryer then. go. Okay, that hasn't revived it yet. Useless pile of garbage. Come on. Fire up again. There we go. Up and running. I'll not shove it into the pot as much. The backdraft that got it. Yeah, I don't actually have a heat gun. And the other issue is, like, I don't trust myself with one. I'm way too clumsy to have a to have a heat gun lying around. I mean, I even seen at some events, like, people would put the heat gun down and it would, like, melt cords and stuff, so I'd rather not do that. So while the hairdryer is slow and everything, it's, you know, to my level of incompetence, it's safe at least. 86. Scenes, yep, wait, give me a second. Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope. There. Oh, it's the top two. Okay. 82. I'm starting to get water on the top of the aluminum part of the LN2 pot, but that's not really an achievement considering it's aluminum. Like, what, you want this one? Wait. I wasn't sure if the chat window on this one's set up. It's not like it's, you know, there's nothing here. So it's not like it was blocking anything. Useless garbage. I wonder if this is safe to touch yet. Okay, this is fine. I can touch that. Admittedly, the mount failed, so not particularly surprising. I'm gonna disconnect the fans by the pot. Just give me a second. So that I can pull the card out soon. I'm gonna pull it out still cold. Basically means I just can't grab the metal part. Well, actually I can touch that part. That has water on it, but... yeah. We're minus 60. God, I hate this. You know what? Somebody should come up with like an LN2 pot where there's like a 500 watt heater just built right into the damn thing. That'd be cool. You know, you just like have like a third PSU. Actually, you could have like, well, this is a 500 watt, so you could have like a 6-pin coming off of your LN2 port and a switch. LN2 port too cold, press the switch, bam. Much better than messing around with blow torches. And hair dryers and heat guns. Okay, we're at minus 50. I'll pull it out at this point. We can take it apart, I think. Well, yeah, we can take it apart right now at minus 50. It's just gonna be cold. Do I have enough space to work on this? I'll need another table. Let's grab one. Which isn't clean, but let's wipe everything off the desk. Go. There we go. There. Okay, so that's now, yeah, now it's coming up on its own. It's 45 now. Get this out of the way. So I've already ripped out the PCIe slot clips on this motherboard just because it's a nightmare to get this out with those still in place, so let's pull it out. Hop. Oh, damn it, I just saw a piece of ice in the PCIe slot. That's great. Oh well, hopefully I'll hairdryer that, if that turns out to be a problem. There's some serious ice buildup over there. That's after the mount failed, so it's actually not as much as it should be. Let's screw that up. Can't grab it that way. And I'll get a second tripod and put you on that so you can see what I'm doing. Oh. Where did this cable come from? Why isn't it there? Like that's not tall enough. Please reach. Okay, it does reach. It's dark though. Alright. Okay, so we need to take this apart. It's currently at minus 38. So I still have the temperature line hooked up. Just do it. Yeah, actually I have like water running down all the way to the gold fingers on this thing. Because when the mount failed, all the ice that built up on the back started to melt, as the GPU core quickly went back into ambient temperatures. I think I might have also over-tightened it, I'm not sure. It's probably just because I'm reusing the mount, though. I know for sure that basically it's like if you're running LN2 and your thermal like you should repaste every run, so yeah. Well, actually I haven't really obeyed that rule much, so yeah, but you should do that, especially like under the well, I do it for the on top of the IHS. It's just under the IHS I haven't really done it. Yeah. This card has this end of the card's a lot heavier, so nasty tendency to lean over when you unscrew it. Which isn't really that, like, there's, the only risk with that is that it might, like, put too much pressure on, like, the edge of the, ow, my finger just froze to the damn PCB. I need to get some blue shop towel for thermal insulation for myself there. It's just kind of concerning having the card lean off the GPU core, because it might crack the edges, like, it might fracture the edges of the silicon, and I think actually one of the corners on this card is already chipped ever so slightly, so yeah, I'd rather not mess it up worse. There we go. Yeah, that's Funny thing is, the inscription, NVIDIA, and like the what is it? JP? Yeah, the JP, like, numbering on this, that's actually, like, etched itself into the LN2 pop. Okay, well, where's the hairdryer again? Because we need to de-ice this. There, that goes a lot faster without the whole card on. There. Now that's all water. I need to dry it off. Kinda. It is plasti dipped, so as long as it doesn't get the PCIe slot, I'm not too concerned. These are going anywhere, so I don't have to worry about them. Just get most of it. I'll hit it with the hairdryer again. Yeah, it's mostly dry at this point on this side. Flip it over. Onto pulse at -30. I needed at least like plus 20. I needed like plus 20 for it to be viable for remounting, because basically thermal paste starts being not very pasty below -20. Though Crynaut does it less, but it's like you don't really want to be trying to apply it while it's basically, like, you don't want to apply it across a temperature difference, so. Yeah. Oh, there's water in this capacitor bank. Now there's water in it too, so. It's not like it's actually going to get anywhere because I have dipped everything on the card, but might run off into the PCIe slot, and I can't really do anything about that end. There we go. Okay, so that'll hopefully dry off a bit on its own at this point. And I can finish off the LN2 pole. Which, if I'm not mistaken, is going to take a while, so let's do questions and answers while that heats up. Because I'm a dunce and way too damn lazy. Ugh. Damn, that's loud. There. Okay. I'm not mining with any of my cards. What pants am I wearing? Just like, I'm in shorts actually. I'm just, see? Shorts. Ugh. I don't really care why you care. I don't really know why you care though. 0 cents to me. -23. This is gonna take a month. Apply paste plus block. I'm definitely not the person to try copy your thermal, like, mounting from. Cause, like, the RX 480s, that kept failing. Yeah. As for the mining, I used to mine, like, I mined Dashcoin at one point in time. I think I have like 150 bucks of some cryptocurrency. I think it might be Dogecoin. I'm not sure. Yeah, actually I mined Dash when it was called Darkcoin. I had a bit of, what was it, Blackcoin? The proof of stake one. And, yeah, I don't know, I might look into Ethereum, but I don't have any, like, RX 480s or 580s or 570s. I only have Fury cards, so yeah, and I don't really, I mean, I guess I could try. Yay, the LN2 pot is not that far from being ambient. The two BIOS settings, that's an ASRock board. Just set both of them to the same thing. That's what I've been doing. I haven't tried to figure out what the hell they actually mean. What? Nah, it's at 5 degrees now, the LN2 pot is. Oh no, it's -5. Oh damn it, I'm gonna overheat the hairdryer again. Oh damn, I just moved. Oh man. Okay, I actually need to do quite a bit on the LN2 pot looking at it now. There's still ice on that. How is it reading 10 degrees? What the hell? Look at that damn probe. Oh, it must be the probe is... Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, so the thermal paste attaching the probe to the LN2 pot is also failing, so I'm gonna have to redo that as well. Lovely. Okay, yeah, it's ambient now. Perfect. Kinda ambient. I'm gonna start pulling off the thermal paste. Oh, it's still heating up. I'll put you on the... Huh? There we go. So, the thermal probe, which isn't super great, making super great contact, but like, it's ambient. It's ambient proper now. The ice layers are coming off. This is why I use, like, basically these are little bathroom towels, and the reason why I use them is they absorb a hell of a lot more water than like Armaflex does. But if you do something stupid like this, you can actually go and pull this, just put it straight back onto the test bench, and it's fine. Like, it'll still run. But the other thing I did, which was dumb, like, the other thing I screwed up is there's two screws to hold these in place, and I only have one of them. So, yeah, that's not ideal. I'm a genius. This thing is at, like, according to the thermometer, which isn't reading great if I do that, it's around... It's around 10 degrees, I think, because it is still building up condensation. Oh yeah, but nope, you're not going to see it as long as there's condensation on that, so I'm going to need to... But I'll show you how the NVIDIA, basically I think it's laser etched onto the die, I'm not sure, but basically the markings on the die just are literally sort of engraved into the base of the LN2 pot, which is just, like, I've never seen that before. Admittedly, NVIDIA cards are, like, AMD hasn't been, you know, marking their dies for ages, so I wouldn't have really had a chance to see it anywhere else. Well, before this card. What did I need? Alcohol? Where did that go? Oh, right. Oh, damn, that's in that. Oh. Move. Oh. Into a drawer. What else did I need? Thermal paste, right. Well, finally got the full-size tube of this stuff. I kept buying the 11-gram ones, but I kept running out, so gotta upgrade. And it's at 15, according to the... Okay, no, it's not. This is just still... Could this heat up any slower? Yeah, I wouldn't... This is isopropanol. I would not drink that. So, as far as I'm aware, this is actually poisonous. So, yeah, like more poisonous than regular alcohol. It's not like you can drink a lot of it before you feel sick. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really care to find out. Oh. 17 degrees, according to the thermal probe. Alright, I wanted the extra screws for this thing. That's what I wanted. Oh, it stopped. Yay, this is at now close to ambient temperature. There's no more condensation on it. Great, lovely. That's awesome, so we'll wipe that off, but I'll also need to get the, which one's the Raptor? This, hopefully, you know, like my mount gets better this time around or something, and I get lower temperatures under full load, and then it can clock higher, and then doing all this would actually be worth it. But I kind of doubt that's going to happen. Let's see. Which actually, I ran this card without those screws even last time, but it's just, you know, I did just have the thermal paste fail, so secure it better. Wonder less about the potential for it to fail. Okay, now it's at 21 degrees according to the incredibly dodgy thermal probe. Well, it's not incredibly dodgy, but it wasn't reading exactly great. Because if you jiggle it around, it actually reads different temperatures, which it doesn't do any longer because it seems to have hit more or less room temperature, but yeah. I'm gonna give that thermal, because basically the thermo, I'll give that more thermal paste as well because it's not making good contact. That hairdryer is going to not work again. That's going to be lovely. Honestly, these don't feel any sturdier than they were before. Oh well. There. Okay, so I'll see if this shows up on camera, but basically, yeah, you can sort of see those marks right... Oh, damn, there's water in it. Of course there's water in it. But you see those marks right in the center? That's actually like the NVIDIA JP... Like those marks right there. I mean, there's also an imprint of an RX 480 GPU core, but then there's the NVIDIA core markings as well. So, actually, we need to pull the thermal paste off this, but... Yeah, those engravings are actually on there, which is... I'm not sure what those are. I don't think they're engraved, because the letters are starting to come off, but... At least off the JP104 part, so... Yeah, that's probably not engraved, but still. Let's finish. This one. Yeah, this is just... I'll try it that way. Ah, that worked a bit better. And it's absolutely shredding the towel. There we go. Those should be now as clean as they're gonna get. And let's redo the thermal paste. Yeah, pot's properly ambient at this point. So I'm just gonna do the thermal probe first. Let's see, how's the ending on this? Okay. It's really... Oh man, I overdid that. Stay in there, damn it. Oh well, that'll work. Speaking of that thermal paste, thanks to the Patreons for making that possible. Seriously, this stuff is not cheap. Well, the fact that you have to that's why I try not to reapply it every single time, but yeah, wasted LN2, I guess, so. I think, yeah, my LN2 is worth more than the thermal paste I waste, so that's a lesson. Don't skimp on your applications, just because the thermal paste is a bit more expensive than everything else. Oh well. Go. Now, I swear by spreading the thermal paste, so I'm actually going to go get something to spread it with. Man, I hate these thick tubes because it's like so hard to not over-apply or... Go. Just put a line on one end, because then you can just sort of pull that line across the rest of the core. And where's the applicators? There they are. That's too little. Yeah, that's way too little. I'm actually seeing seal. Yeah, that needs more. There we go. There we go. That looks more or less even. There. Now I'll put a tiny little dot right in the middle, because basically, as that comes down on it, the dot will spread throughout. And anywhere the dot doesn't reach, there's already thermal paste, which the pressure from the mounting will actually get to, so...
Yeah, I just don't like the dot method on its own because I've seen it not manage to get the corners of GPU cores a few times, so yeah.
Not a fan of that. There we go. So basically, it looks like you can sort of see there's that little bump right in the middle. So let's go for that. Other issue is that every time I try to apply thermal paste, what ends up happening is I flip it onto the card, flip the card, and it basically slips out of position. See, I used to do some really intricate patterns for the shoelace on this thing to like hold the damn thing properly, but I just could not be bothered. And plus, it's like, for some reason, I've never had insulation issues with GPUs, especially not running this, so whatever. Let's just put it on there. Yeah, it's loose enough that it'll move out of the way if it has to. Want to get all four aligned. Where's that? The hell? How am I? There we go. I have these tiny little, not very heavy springs that don't actually come with the Raptor 4, just because I don't really... Like, the Fusion has a spring retention mechanism, and I trust that. I do not trust myself to not over-tighten the screws and, like, flex the PCB, because I know I've managed to over-tighten zip ties. Which I think might be easier than screws, but, well, actually, no, that might be harder. So, yeah. I just want to make sure the card doesn't, like, tip over in any direction, because that'll naturally screw up the thermal paste under it. To be fair, I wasn't really that careful when I did it for the... When I was running the card on Ryzen, I wasn't that careful with it in terms of applying the thermal paste anyway, so I'm not sure if this will make a huge difference, but... Ugh. Wait, what? Where did my last thumb screw? Oh. There. There we go. Try not to shake the whole card while tightening these. Hopefully this is worth it. Hopefully it clocks better. So if it cracks again, then it's just gonna suck. That's another thing. If you ever run dry ice, you don't have to worry about this kind of thing because it doesn't happen at higher temperatures. Well, as much. I mean, I managed to crack. I think on the RX 480 GTR, I was managing to blow out the thermal paste pretty much regardless of temperature, so I'm not sure. But generally, I've heard on dry ice it's less of a problem. So. I think it's about as tight as I should make it. Yeah, okay. I trust that. Let's mount it. Move out the gateway. And hopefully, this time I'll pull it down all the way to minus 100, and we won't hear a massive crack and lose the thermal paste. Because that's what happened last time. And the insulation's gone all over the place. Oh well. That's what I get. Well, it'll work. It'll survive. Actually, I swear I saw water running into the PCIe slot, so before I mount this, which incidentally, if you're ever handling a GPU with an LN2 pod attached, do not handle it by the PCB. Handle it by the GPU pod, because this thing weighs 2 kilograms, and it will really easily just destroy the PCB. Also, never ever put a GPU like that on a desk. That's also obviously really, really bad, considering how much weight it now has resting on it. So, yeah. Where's the hairdryer? Because I do want to hit the motherboard, because I swear I saw water droplets running into the area. There. If there was any, that probably didn't get rid of them. So, you know, let's hope for the best, and that it doesn't crash instantly. Okay. Which one was where? This one was behind the card, I know that. This one's wet. Oh, right, this one was right under it. Right, there should be a Oh, that's that one. That one was... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's get the card in place, and then I'll do the ones around the back of the card. That reminds me, this stupid thing needs to move out the way. I can't see that much. There we go. It's in place. Measuring lines are here, so I'll mount this back onto that bit of blue tack right there. Oh god, bent those leads on it to hell, but tweak the voltage down a bit just in case I messed with it while it wasn't installed. Look at that. Really want to get it down there. Need something. Yeah, I'll grab a screwdriver inch. Yeah. Okay. There. This bit. I mean, the whole motherboard is plasti-dipped because I'm more or less like... I do want to put X99 on a LN2 still, especially the 6950X. Well, actually, I might just end up putting the 6950X on dry ice, because they're way easier to run like that, apparently. So, we shall see. But, yeah, I do want to put the motherboard on LN2 on sub-ambient, so it is fully insulated, but, you know, it's like, if I don't have to rely on the... I don't have to have as much faith in my plasti-dip job if the water never gets to it. So that's why I'm shoving shop towel pretty much everywhere. There we go. There. And hopefully I didn't break the card, so let's plug in that display cable. And hope for the best. Well, actually, this will basic. I'm 99% certain that it'll boot. I don't think I'm that, I'm not that bad that I'd manage to screw this part up. Even if it took a month. Move this out the way. I have somewhere to stand. These away. Let's hope it fires right up as soon as I hook up the 8-pin. Hop. There. Hopefully it still works. Which it should. Like, actually, there we go. 25 degrees on that. Voltage at 0.7, so that's fine because I did turn it down. 79, 91, 95, 96, B2. Monitor's turning on. It works. I don't want to waste time with pre-testing again, so I'm going to start pouring already. And this time, I'm going to go slower. Oh yeah, and since there's water in the LN2 pot right now, it's going to smoke like crazy. Which reminds me, I forgot to hook up the fans again. There. Because sure, all the water vapor looks really cool, but it's just like, it literally, like, that water vapor is so dense, it deposits water as it goes, so if you hold your hand in it, you can literally feel your hand getting wet. The stuff clouds about to rain from are made of. Okay, let's just run 3D Mark. I'll just run it at stock, and I'll also fill up the other thermos. That other one isn't completely empty yet, so give me a second while I fill up before we run. Okay, that's full. And I need to turn up the voltage before we run because otherwise it's not going to run. 0.8, 0.9, 1.05. That's too low. I hate that. Like, I really shouldn't have gone for logarithmics. I should have grabbed linears. Let's run. How long has this run for? Oh, we've already spent an hour and I have 0 scores to show for it. So like any other AHOC stream. Please run already, you useless SSD. And now it goes crack. Nah, it's running. It's running good. Yeah, I trust it. Yeah, I trust it. I'll have faith in it for once. It is also, the other thing is, I think, like, there's some variants, like batch to batch with thermal paste, so maybe the new batch of Cryonaught I have is a bit better than my last batch, because that one was, like, on the RX 480, that was just, like, fail, 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 fail. Okay, afterburner. You know what? I think when I was last running the card, I topped it off while running 3D Mark. Yeah, it might be the trick to not busting the mount. Now that I think about it. Because if you were running like a full heat load, right, the core would already be at like, well, it'd be like the temperature difference between the core and the paw would hold steady as they both cooled down. But then again, the same would have applied for idle or anything. I have no idea. It just cracked. I'm not... Like cracking is not something I'm... not Afterburner again, damn it. I'm not gonna glaze it this time around. That'll slow me down on... That'll slow it down on its own. Speaking of which, I should start that render test, shouldn't I? 1898. I wish you could just skip the entire cooldown phase, but I tried that just now, like, you know, half an hour ago. Tried that. Went great. Yeah. Can't rush these damn things. Blow up on you. Can you change and show windows? Yes, I can. There we go. There's not much happening. Oh, that's... Okay, wait. That's... I am very confused. This is reading -12. That's reading +4. How cold is this? That's not -12. That's nowhere near -12. It's cold, but it's not -12. Could my thermal probe have, like, slipped out or something? Wait a minute. Please don't tell me that's what actually happened. I need to figure... Like, it's taped onto the paw, so it's not like it can move a ton. I'm paranoid now. I'm really, really paranoid that... Because this is reading 5, that's reading -9. That's way bigger temperature difference than last time. Though, if I remember the... If we go back to the Ryzen session, it was reading absolute garbage as well, but... I don't know. I'll just hope for the best. The card, technically, with the extension, doesn't have a cold bug, so... You know... Regardless of what temperature this actually reports, it's gonna be pretty much the same temperature as last time, unless my thermal paste got a lot better. Which I somehow doubt. This is reading 4. That's reading -14. This is definitely positive. Kind of tempted to check against this thermometer. Though this one sucks badly. I mean, it doesn't, like, it doesn't go below -140 at all, so, you know, it's not runnable for LN2, but yeah, I'll just reference it. Just make absolutely sure that the other equipment is working. Temperature... How I wish I had fluke everything. This is reading 2.7. And that was at 1.8 when I pulled it out. Okay, so... I have no idea. The probe might actually be dislodged at this point. Because those temperatures are way too high. Though that's not -14. It's not even close to -14. On the back of the card. That's like I wouldn't be able to hold my finger against... Yeah, no. I have no idea. I give up. pour LN2 and pray for the best at this point. Why does everything have to get so hard? This, like, the first session was so easy. Whoever sets up the overclocking difficulty curve is a jerk. Let's balance this really badly. This is only now going negative, and that's at minus 18. I have no idea what to believe. I mean, if that is saying minus 19, then I'd expect the back of the core at this point to be frosting over, but it's more like... It's water temperature. It's building up. Okay, that's wrong. I made up my mind. That's wrong. I'm going to trust that. I'm going to trust the OC panel, because there's no way. This is only now, like, reaching dew point properly. Like, there's actually a decent amount of condensation building up on the back of the core. And that's reading minus 1.5, and that's reading minus 22. And if that was reading, like, if anywhere in here the core was minus 22, I'd expect the whole place to be covered in ice. So that's reading... I just heard a crack. I just heard a... Temperature's holding steady, though. I'm gonna hope that was one of the springs or something working. It wasn't as bad. It was more a metallic noise, so hopefully that didn't bust the thermal paste. I'm so very glad I can at least rely on the software readings to read ambient, because then I will know for sure that the thermal paste failed. Minus 5. God, this is taking forever. It could... The other thing I don't like is that the pot is technically a two-piece construction, and those noises could just be the pot. The two parts working. So, I'm not sure. I just... yeah. It could also be the mounting hardware. It could be so many different things making all those freaking noises that... I'm just gonna go crazy at this rate. Oh well, the temperature reading looks fine, so it's at minus 40. Okay, temperature reading is at least not positive, so, you know, I'll go with that, because the thermometer is reading minus 14. And the inside of the pot does not look like minus 40. So... the software seems to have just given up on being even remotely useful for anything but catching the thermal paste failing utterly. Which, you know, is fine. That's fine. It's not like I can have Afterburner running in the background of 3D Mark anyway. Since it lowers the score! Oh, this is going to take a month to cool down at this rate. Yeah, now we're starting to get ice on the back of the card. And that's reading minus 40. That's... It's not boiling quickly, so I'll just keep pouring. Minus 20. It might also be just like pieces of ice floating around in the LN2 I pour in, because I did notice some bits of, because there was water in there from the heat up. So it might just be, I don't know. Those clinking noises aren't pleasant at all. Minus 30. It's speeding up on its own at this point. Damn it. I'm gonna have to be more careful. I mean, Somebody's like, really loud cracks are thermal paste. I mean, yeah, the last one was like way louder than any of these, but at this point I'm paranoid. Okay, it's not skipping a degree at a time yet, so just keep pouring, just keep pouring. Minus 50. I think I'll go for a 3D mark pass at this point. Just to check, just to see, basically. I think at minus 50 last time, I was looking at... useless garbage, thank you very much for deciding to be less useless. I'm going to give it 1.25, and we're going to go for 3D mark at 2.1 gigahertz. Just go for it because I just want to check. Everything is fine. We're at minus 65 now. My playlist has gotten to the boring part. I want that in case... Wait, what the hell? That's the this one's the GPU temperature graph, right? Why is there... I mean, it's back at minus 40 now. I didn't hear anything like as loud as last time, so... Oh, 3D Mark's gonna tell me that it crashed now or something. We'll see. It'll either crash instantly or it'll run. If it runs, then Afterburner's possessed by, I don't know, my younger brother. It's running. It's even, like, the FPS even looks like what it should look like. So, I have faith that everything is working as it should be. Yeah, looks like it's fine. Afterburner's just being stupid this time around. Well, now it glazed itself on its own. Okay, that's the end of the bench, so here comes the cold snap. Unloads. You know what, the extension base does at least, like, delay thermal swings, kinda, as well as, you know, it delays thermal, like, cold transfer. So it also worsens minimum load temperature, but... Well, maximum, technically, because we're in the negatives, so... Like, minimum load temperature because it's minus 115 instead of minus 130, but... Technically, minus 115 higher than minus 130. Yeah, that's glazed. Sounds like it. Yeah, it's running like it should be, so that's a good thing. How much power is it pulling at the wall? 1.7, 1.8 amps on 240 volt UK power. So, you know, it's not pulling a ton of juice. Here it comes the CPU test. This is gonna pull a ton of power. Yeah, it's doing... Oh, that's not that bad. 1.45? Oh, right, it gets heavier towards the end, so... 1.5, 1.59, 1.6. Yeah, about 1.6 amps for the CPU test. GPU is at now minus 84, according to this. The score is not bad. We need to go over 8,000 though, so we got a ways to go. Admittedly, this card can go higher. Afterburner, I think we're in that part where it starts looping the temperature. Let's see. I'll try pull the temperature down. We'll see if it goes down. I think I did that too fast, but I have no idea. Let's run time spy again. I'm really like the freaking, because I didn't hear a crack, so I don't think it actually failed. It's just the software being stupid again, but you know. After last time, worth the concern. Wait, that might have happened last time as well, and I was just being completely stupid about the whole positive temperatures thing. I might have not had... No, because I did hear that massive crack. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And it wasn't doing it at idle. So, it was under load that the temperature went up. Mild load, but load nonetheless. Yeah, time spy still works. It's not crashing instantly on us. The temperature is rising as you would expect it to. So we're going to escape out of that and pull down. Actually, I should pull down through the benchmark, didn't I? Say do that. So, rerun. I'll just do it throughout the benchmark just because paranoid at this point. It's working this time around at least. I mean, we aren't at the minimum temperature yet, so... Yeah, but hasn't died yet. Time spy, get a freaking move on! I can't believe how slow this is. And it's the same SSD I used on the Ryzen system. I have no idea why it's taking so long. It's like everything about this motherboard is slow. From post, to loading time spy, to... Well, post, loading time spy, getting into Windows is fine. Scores are fine. It's actually kind of hard to pull the temperature down while the GPU is running. 90? That did not sound pleasant. 92. But not as loud as last time, so keep going. And plus it didn't crash instantly. Which it would, because 1.25 volts, this voltage, if this goes ambient, it's going to crash instantly. Because it just does. Well, actually no, this card doesn't do that. But it can't run 2.1 gigahertz ambient, so... You know, that's reassuring. As long as this is running, it's working. 98. And I need more LN2 because this is empty. I can't refill while it's loading, so... 98. Stop pouring a bit. 99. 15 more degrees to go. And before it's like maxed out in terms of temperature, so assuming it's going to behave the same way as last time, it might go down to minus 20, in which case that would be awesome. Minus 100. Still at 100, aren't I? 101. I need to move that. I can't see it. Hairdryer cable, get the hell out of the way. You can actually hear the fan working harder against all the vapor. $105. Or 104 more like. There, 105. We're nearing the end, aren't we? Yeah, we are. 10. There. I'll grab my refill now. So, 6 more degrees to go. Assuming nothing changed since last time, which it might have. Uh, 110. Afterburner is, yeah, the software is just completely stupid. Now it's, yeah. Okay, we're at minus 110. We need to run again. I do want to bump up the clock, though, to 220 at 1.3 volts. There we go. That's 1.33. It'll drop under load. Let's run. Run. Oh, I should have filled that one. Oh, well, this takes a month to load anyway, so I have all the time in the world to refill, and now it proceeds to load fast. Oh, well. It still hasn't managed to load. God, I hate this freaking benchmark. Pretty much filled up my second thermos. I did. There we go, now we're running. Seven. Man, this thing is, yeah, it's really starting to put heat out now. Pulling 1.9 amps. 1.33. Well, 1.34 more like, overpoured. We're at minus 15. 16. Is it still not full pot? Okay, so my thermal couple mount might have been... No, we're full pot. We've hit full pot. Yay! It didn't crack yet. Achievement. Minus 120. It's not going lower any longer. Thank you, extension base. Now we hear crack. I have to heat up from full pot, which would just be hell. So, it's not going to do that. Okay, well, we're as low as it'll go at this point. So, time for 2.4 gigahertz. As well as some seriously high memory clock because this card loves cold. I love how everybody's like, oh, you need Samsung memory or Hynix, you know, you can't run Microns. Microns suck. It's too bad that Microns at around 0 degrees centigrade run better than pretty much anything else I've ever run. So that's nice. The other thing is, this card sucks on air cooling really, really badly. Like, it's atrocious. It doesn't really do, like, you can't really do 2 gigahertz on it. And then, the one thing it does do is, you can put a ton of voltage through it before it, black screens. But, yeah, otherwise it's just a terrible, terrible card for, a daily card, but it runs so good on liquid nitrogen. So let's go. Just went empty. There, full pot. Yay! From this point onwards, it should be smooth sailing. Okay. Whoa, I nailed that refill. Minus 70 going into the benchmark. 170. I didn't hear it crack. There, it's running great. Wait, it's still holding minus 170. Holy... Oh no, the temperature's coming up. Yeah. 2 centimeters of copper are technically a thermal insulator. Really depends on like your point of view on whether or not something is insulating or thermally conductive. Because right now, right, it went from minus 170 at the start of the benchmark to minus 137 right now, minus 135, because for all the cold that's in the LN2 pot, it just can't get through the copper fast enough, so yeah. We're by the next test, we're going to be hitting minus 115. Oh, that's fine, that was what the last card did as well. What's good about full pot? So full pot basically means, you see there, right? That's not full right now. But because we're, like, the card literally won't get any colder, I can just pour, and the LN2 just stays in there, like you can see it boiling. And that's super, like, the reason why I like that is it makes life so much easier when you basically, you don't even have to check the thermometer really, except for like a diagnostics thing, because as long as there's LN2 in there, all the temperatures are good. Well, they're as low as they'll go. You can't really make them any lower. Minus 127 at this point. That block of copper sucks. Card is burning 2.2 amps. That's what. Well, there's the whole X90. Well, system's burning 2.2 amps on 240, so we're going over 500 watt right now, but that's mostly because X99 is horrifically power inefficient. Oh, it is so nice when it runs well. Gotta love this card. Yeah. Cheapest 1070 I could get my hands on. Wait, did it just... Why did it lose display? It crashed. Interesting. Interesting. Why did it crash? Did we get Why is Afterburner, for some reason, always... Yeah, it crashed. That's interesting. Okay, I'll try... A tad more voltage? No. Yeah, I'll try a tad more. 1.4. I don't think it's the memory, but let's just drop it down to 800. Run. Useless freaking SSD! I have literally no idea why it's taking forever. There we go. I might be giving it too much core voltage. Because on the last system, if you remember, on the Ryzen system, I had the ground probe stuck into like a motherboard standoff. So I could have actually been reading the voltage a little high, and I might be giving it too much at this point, which NVIDIA cards give them too much core voltage. Complain. So, yeah. Also, I'm really interested to see. Like, I'm starting to really wonder if getting PLL voltage control would be useful on this card. Because, well, there was an interview with, like, Gamers Nexus had an interview with Kingpin, and they're like, Kingpin's like, oh yeah, you need, PLL voltage is controllable, which is super helpful on LN2, and I don't have PLL voltage controller, so I couldn't tell you what it does. I assume it makes the card clock higher, though, so now I'm kind of annoyed that I don't have it. I really hope it was just the memory not handling it. If it's the core, then I have a problem. SSD dying. No, the SSD's fine, it's just this system for some reason. It's like everything else except 3D Mark loads quickly. And the SSD, like, works just fine on other systems as well, so... It's just X99. Well, 3D Mark plus X99 being X99. Well enough. Each of the sequences is about a minute long, right? Or, nah, it's minute 15, isn't it? Yeah, just past a minute. Garbage. There we go. There, past it now. So I guess the memory wasn't happy. I guess we need to wait for the cold to travel through the PCB more. And could just sit it at idle at full pot at idle for a little bit. That'll basically, if you do that for long enough, you can pretty much ice an entire card. Oh man, I can't wait to do the Kingpin 1080 Ti video. Probably gonna shoot that after this stream. Probably gonna be shooting it. Holy hell, 8K already! Oh my god! Again, please. I want more! Oh, that's what I like to see! That's what I like to see! You see, you useless pile of garbage! You can do it! You can do it! Well, that's 8K broken. I'm still need to get like 60 points more to beat the guy ahead of me, but 60 points is not that difficult to do when I'm only, like, I still have at least another 50 megahertz in that core, GPU core. So, guy ahead of me, watch out. You're not gonna be there much longer. I'm gonna show off that flat boost curve. Yeah, like that. Oh, it's freaking, damn it. Wait, there has to be a setting for that. Oh no, Afterburner's just dumb, isn't it? There, that'll work. I don't like the OC Showdown wallpaper, since this is not for the OC Showdown. So give me a second. I know, some of you are like, take the damn screenshot. You're just begging it to crash on you at this point. I'm sorry. I'll sooner take a screenshot with a black background. Solid color. Black. Thank you very much. There. Now. Save. Okay, 3DTS 1. Save. And I also want to save the validation file so I can upload it. 3DTS 1. Save. There we go. Now, 3D Mark, a cool feature about it, it automatically auto-saves all your scores, assuming it doesn't crash into, what's it called? My Documents folder. Actually, I wonder if I can change that where it saves it to. Huh, okay, I'm not gonna bother with that right now. What we need to do is more core clock. And more LN2. Or the more core clock part won't be working very long. I think at this point it'll do it. Just to make absolutely sure, I'm also gonna, that's applied, I'm gonna close Afterburner. No, we need more GPU core clock because I saved validation to my documents. Oh well, I'll just rip it off the hard drive later. It's rock and roll. Here comes my first place. Assuming this doesn't crash and I look like, and I end up looking like a total idiot. The very cheap card that could. I so wish the freaking capacitor bank wasn't in the way of the LN2 pop, because it would go higher if I could get the temperature lower. Because that's the thing about Pascal. You can run whatever, like, you can run higher voltages as you lower the temperatures. I also think maybe PLL might also help with voltage. Just because that's what you have on AIM. Oh, I crashed. I'm just gonna give it more VCore. Oh wait, it might have lost the overclock. Let's check. Yeah, I lost the overclock, damn it. Actually, no. Yeah, no, we're running 2455, cool. Okay, the overclock is still there, it's still there. I'm gonna give you a little bit more VCore. You're gonna give me a high score. How does that sound? Jesus Christ, can you load any slower? I swear it's like some weird system info setting that I could, like, yeah, it's system info being stupid, but what can I do about it? $1.418 under coming into load. We're at minus 171. Huh. Crashed again. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, that looks like a pretty bad crash. I'm gonna try lower the clock a bit. Oh, now it dropped it, yeah. 2433. Reduce the voltage. A tad. That's applied. Okay, let's do. I'm gonna go with 750 memory. Oh, 748. Same thing. Just to make absolutely certain. There. And either way, more core clock should beat more memory, so. Oh, yeah, now we're starting to get that. Like, now there's ice all the way to the memory chips. I think I can really crank up the memory clock. And, like, if this progresses, I'm going to be able to do 900 megahertz memory. Because this RAM loves the cold. Manually set system info. Jesus Christ, this thing takes for a month to load. Oh, there we go. Oh, well, I was about to refill LN2, but guess I can't do that now because it finally decided to load up. Oh, come on! Build Zoid to system? Do you copy? The keyboard works! Looks like the GPU driver just gave up really, really hard this time around. Yeah, the series. Oh no, here we go. CPU is still working. Come back, GPU driver. Please come back. I don't want to reset the system. Not because this has a cold boot bug or anything, but I just don't want to. Well, it looks like a reset is in order. Which gives me time to fill up. Oh. What? No, why would you check the damn disk, you idiotic pile of garbage? I mean, maybe if I let the disk check run, 3D Mark would stop being slow, but I'm not really a fan of running check disk at whatever extremely negative temperature the system's currently at, which is minus 130. Minus 140, actually. Okay, afterburner. Let's go 2400-05 first, just to check, because I might have set the core voltage too high and it's just crashing because of that. How's the memory freeze through doing? That PCB's going to be ice all the way to the end at this rate. Well, the memory VRM's going to be happy about that. That's nice. Let's see. I want to run high memory. Run. I don't have Steam on this system. The CPU is already at 4.4 gigahertz. I can't do anything more to it. This slow pile of garbage. Doesn't go higher. I tried. It really doesn't. Even for, like, 4450 doesn't work at all. And 4420 isn't really particularly worth it. I think too much vCore, so that shouldn't have crashed, like, at all. Yeah, that shouldn't have crashed. Way too much V-core. That's what it is. There we go. Finally loaded. I mean, somebody suggested leave it idling full pot. That's more or less what's happening right now with 3D Mark's load time. Yeah, way too much V-core. That's what it was. That's the thing about Pascal. If I could pull the card lower temperature, then it'd be happy with higher V-core. But as it stands, I can't do anything because we're right now at minus 140 and climbing. 141. 140. 139. 139.2. I'm not actually, I don't trust this thermometer to the decimal point anyway, so it's not really worth reading. 138. That's with the pot full, so that extension base is really killing the minimum temperature this can run. And that, in turn, then kills the maximum voltage I can run, so yeah. I think if I got rid of that, if I removed that capacitor bank on the front of the card, then yeah, it would probably do 2.5 gigahertz. Probably would. I'm not going to try desoldering SMD capacitors, though. That's just, like, yeah, no. I don't have a, you need like, you pretty, as far as I'm concerned, you'd need to do that with a hot air station. And I don't have one, so that's not happening. Yeah. Oh, this is so, like, you can tell the GPU is now loaded up because the ice that spread all the way to the memory section of the card is gone. It's all gone. It turned back into water. Praise Blue Shop Towel. And Plastidip, of course. Nothing gets through either of them. It's funny, it's like CPUs I always have. Oh, come on! Why here? We were so close, you useless pile of garbage. You could have had another first place, actually, because it already has Firestrike Extreme, not Firestrike Regular. I'll hope the driver recovers. I don't think it will actually manage that. Okay, I'm still good on the LN2. Yeah, okay, system reset on its own. Damn it. Okay, you know what? I'll try push the useless pile of garbage that is the 6950X. Just a little bit. Just a tad. And hope for the best. Try eke out, you know, because we do need like 50 points more only. So if I get that from the CPU or the GPU, it doesn't really matter. It's not doing 45 in a million years, so we can forget about that. 101. Let's see. This thing is so bad. Hopefully it won't overheat at that point. I wish I could run the RAM like really aggressive, but Let's drop to 1T and 40K on that. Please post. B0, 19, yeah, that's not posting. B9, BF, 33, 4F. Oh, wait, it's making it. That looked like it wouldn't make it. Oh well, it made it. Now, will it crash in time by physics? That's a whole different question. I think I'll run the physics test independent from the rest of the benchmark with the GPU at stock clocks. Just to make sure that everything still works. This thing is a pile of garbage. I don't think actually 1.45 volts will be enough for the 6950X for 4430. The RAM is probably going to be okay. Actually, I was basing my whole RAM problem thing off of the fact that 3D Mark wouldn't run earlier today, so I might be able to push the RAM up farther, but custom run. Custom. I'm 99% sure it's going to crash. And if it doesn't crash, it's not going to pick up enough score to be worth it. I think I need like maybe 100 more points in physics to make it worth it. So that'll be interesting to see if it can actually manage that much. Because I really doubt it. Load faster! Oh, this system's killing me. Oh, whoa, it's running. Explosion in 3, 2, 1. Because the start of this benchmark isn't that heavy. Now it's a 74, 73. Oh, they made it. I'll be damned. 12K. Oh, hell yeah, we're doing it with that. Okay, well, now the GPU can go a lot slower and still blow everybody away. We're gonna go just under 2.4 because I actually want to see how this scores with, like, actually manages to score. 800, just under 800 for memory clock. Gonna relax the GPU a bit, see what we can do with this. We're currently at minus 172. Ice is spreading into the memory modules. There is literally smoke coming off the back of the GPU core. I think that's a pretty good sign that we're in more or less perfect shape to press the run button. Now it crashes. The run button is the death sentence of stability. Go. Load faster, you useless garbage! It's not like the system could crash any second, but I'm not patient. The other thing is, while it's loading, it actually heats up. Like, it's at minus 168 right now instead of minus 170, so I have no idea what's up with that. Like, what on earth is 3D Mark doing that it heats up the GPU that much? If I'm lucky, this will... Oh, come on! Alright, what was the trick for resetting the stack? CTRL Shift V. Windows... Alright, Shift V? Nah, motherboard reset. I'm kind of tempted to... No, because it passed physics on its own. I don't see why it would be crashing in graphics because of the CPU if it passed physics. It really shouldn't be a problem right now. I might relax the memory a bit on the GPU. Not the CPU. The CPU seems happy. The RAM isn't really doing it. Like, on a different board, like, in the past, this RAM did CL10 at the current voltage, so. I'm not dropping it. Not dropping that at all. I like my high physics score. Makes my life a lot less difficult. Okay, so I'm kind of concerned about the GPU here. I'm not gonna max it out intentionally. I'm gonna run a tad slower again. 707 on memory. And run. Minus 72. Or are we on LN2? This could use a refill. Go. That's full now. Still not running. Well, here we go. I've really lost a lot of my GPU clock advantage though at this point. I hope it's just the memory not being cold enough. If it's just the memory, then I can just drop the memory clock and it won't massively damage my scores if it's the core clock, then I'm screwed. Well, that's funny. So it just crashed at like minus 60, minus 160. That's a reset. Wiped itself. Less VCore, I guess. That is really suspicious. I mean, I am reading of a potentially better measurement point, so maybe my... But no, it was running 2400 before, so... I have no idea. I did not drop the memory clock that much. There, let's go to 500. That's like bulletproof levels of stability. Let's run that. And it's not degraded. I don't think it's degraded. It's been ice cold the entire time. And I cracked the thermal paste while running, you know, the freaking GPU-Z render test. And yeah, that's not concerning. If I cracked the thermal paste at like right now, if the thermal paste cracked and it was at full 1.4-ish volts and it went all the way into 3D Mark, it just blew itself to bits, yeah, then I'd be concerned about degradation, but no. Minus 170, or, well below 100 and only 0.4, I don't really think it degraded. I need to stop sitting and start pouring. Yeah, it looks like I just gave it way too much VCore when I was trying to go for 2040-60, 2468. Because that's the highest... Oh, come on! Garbage. Total and utter garbage. Don't reset the system. Thank you very much. It got further though, and I just lowered V-core, so... Let's just put memory clock to 0 and see what happens. What the hell? Why is everything... By the way, the guy who suggested Windows CTRL Shift B, thank you. I just used it. Very helpful. If I end up running at like 1.35 volts, I'm going to be really not happy, like really unhappy with this. I don't think the thermal paste failed, because if that happened, then it'd be crashing instantly, so... Yeah, okay, now the complete and utter loss of all memory clock has now actually affected FPS. It's running visibly slower. But if it runs stable, then... Well, I also lowered core voltage, so... Then I can bump up memory clock again, and we shall see if it starts working properly at last. Tricky architecture, Pascal. Apparently 980 Ti's are the same thing. You give them too much voltage and they just black screen on you. What the hell? What the... Why did the FPS just, like, slow down to a crawl? I'm gonna need to run the GPU Z render test. Check if... I don't know, the thermal paste gave up silently? That'd be like the worst that'd be my worst nightmare. Thermal paste gives up and you can't even hear it. I'm gonna try not run the GPU as cold. Like right now it's at minus 140, so I'm not gonna minus 170 it coming into the benchmark. But yeah, that is weird. So, let's start render test. 1847, wait a minute. 50, 0, 50, 0. Clock is dropping. Uh-oh. We're at minus 40 now, okay. What is with those temperature fluctuations? Like it says 60 somewhere. Okay, well let's just try crash it, eh? No, that's fine. Minus 37 right now. 137, not 37 as in barely under positive. The hell? What is with the windows in this install? I have no freaking hell. That's not a. That's a great idea. the cooling loop has no chance. I'm just doing this because on Ryzen I ran into this weird issue where if the CPU was too cold, the PCIe would fall apart if you loaded up the GPU at the same time as the CPU. Otherwise it worked. It worked great, except put load on CPU and GPU at the same time and you couldn't run a damn thing because the PCIe basically fell apart. No thanks. I do not want to save that score. Okay, so we shall try to run it a tad warmer. And I will start at 2300. Drop core voltage to 1.35. Memory clock to 750. $850. I think it's good. I have honestly no idea what could be wrong with it. I might have to temperature control it this time around. Okay, let's go for it. Let's just go for it. The temperature sensor shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be causing crashing at any rate anyway. I've heard of it messing around with clocks and cold slow issues, but it's not doing that. It's running fine, it's crashing. And that's not temperature sensor related. Like, temperature sensors will do like, oh, you're scoring really low for no reason, or your card won't clock up, and that kind of thing. Or the PCIe won't go above, the idle PCIe bandwidth. But crashing, no, that's not a, what's it called? Whatever, it's not the temp sensor. My card doesn't need an adjusted power limit or temperature limit because 1, the temperature is super low, 2, the power limit is broken by me. Doesn't have a power limit. Minus 125 right now. Pour it before the start of the benchmark because there is that delay going in. So, yeah, now it's FPS is up because of the return of the memory. Holding it at minus 128 right now. I think it was running to... Well, no, we haven't even gotten to the... It's too early to judge. Way too early to judge. I think I can't run, I can't enter on full pop. That might be a thing. Which would be, that makes things a bit awkward, but nothing. It's not the worst issue to have. We're minus 126 right now. We're also at 2300 megahertz, so, we're running way slower than we used to. And I really, really need that the GPU clock advantage, so this is not particularly, but at least we know it's not dead or something. try... Somebody said try Firestrike. Yeah, I'll try Firestrike. But I don't think DirectX, like, this is not going to be like, I don't think Firestrike and TimeSpy are the same relationship as any other 3D benchmark and Vantage. Where Vantage will crash pretty much everything. It's like, you bench every other benchmark at 2.4 gigahertz, you can't run Vantage at 2. You need to run Vantage 50 lower or something. Oh, that finished. That's nice. Score sucked, naturally. Let's go slowly. I'm not going to raise the core voltage yet. Just because that might have been the issue. Okay, we're going to enter at minus 124, and I'm not going to, like, hammer it on the temperature. Again, it could have just been, like, swinging the temp... I don't think swinging the temperature up and down did anything, but maybe it has, like, a soft cold bug thing. At lower temperatures, like, some part of the card doesn't quite work. PLL voltage would probably fix that. That's generally what PLL voltages do for most things. It's like you have PLL voltages on Skylake, and if you mess with them, you can get the cold bug to basically go away. You have on other NVIDIA cards, the PLL would help with cold bugs as well, from what I've heard. Minus 1.8. No, minus 118. I do remember last time running the entire thing at minus 115, so, you know, that could be it. Oh man, over 60 coming out of that first test is always nice to see. And by over 60, I mean the FPS. Because this card normally ends at like 45, and it's just like, overclock's so good. I mean, I am complaining about all kinds of issues here, but this is still like, there's other 1070s out there which aren't getting anywhere near what this one's doing. I need to try like a bigger Pascal GPU. Speaking of a bigger Pascal GPU, I might get a chance to test a 1080 Ti Kingpin edition on liquid nitrogen, which would be really, really awesome. To see like how a proper card works on liquid nitrogen instead of my hand-modded garbage with my soldering skills. Yeah, running it warmer seems to be making it happier. Weird. Weird architecture. Yeah, my VRM here, ouch. My VRM is ouch temperature, and my finger is really cold right now, so that VRM is really hot. Probably not in the 100 degree range though. Well, actually it might be approaching that. Still. It's a halfway decent 6-phase. I think, off the top of my head, it can do like 300 amps at 125 degrees, except it's not going to be like, the MOSFETs in it aren't exactly super power efficient, so if you actually tried to push 300 amps through it, you'd need like a Hyper 212 Evo cooling the VRM. So, yeah. Blow me away. Surprise me. Give me a high score. Come on. Be a good system. Yes! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes! Yes, I made it! By 2 freaking points, but I goddamn made it! I need to actually check the high score. I am 99% sure I beat the guy by 3 points. And that is still a high score. And I'm gonna freaking take it. Yep, high score by 3 points. Woo! Oh man. Oh man. After that much work is best feeling ever. The fight. The struggle. Desperation to get a high score. Oh man. Finally. The GPU takes what is rightfully its. As in, it belongs to it. Hells yeah. Okay.